back at it again like we never left. Coke and Dank. Dank and Coke. It's the Lethal Weapons.
Hey, Dank.
Hey, Coke.
Guys, I'm going to spell out a word. I'm going to spell out words. No, I'm going to spell out words. And I want you
terrible already.
No, I'm going to spell out some words, and I want you to just say them.
This is stout.
Yeah. Okay?
Okay, you're spelling it and I say the word?
Yeah.
Okay.
Macdaddy.
Okay, you got. I read at a 6th grade level.
Macdaddy.
Yeah. Mac Daddy?
Yes. Macmommy.
Mac Mommy?
Machine.
What?
Machine.
Huh?
Say the word.
What? Spell it again.
Machine.
Machine?
Yeah. You took too long. I'm joking because I know you were like Mac.
Oh, that's you.
Macine.
That's stupid.
Macine.
Yeah, you got.
No, you thought too long.
Yeah, you put a school in it. Don't put school in the joke. I got to spell and like there's preparation to it. I didn't do my homework. I got to show up and like participate.
Well, you failed.
I did.
You failed.
Welcome back to school.
Yeah. Where's machine? You should say Macine. Because we're talking about the green machines today.
Who says Mackay? Hold on a second.
So many
You're telling me you couldn't think of a better joke for 4 greens than Maheen?
No, I thought you were going to fall for it.
Mackine?
Yeah, but you took way till you're like, huh? Say it again? What?
Again, I can't. I don't spell on the spot. That's why I've never been in a spelling bee. Okay? I usually sit down and make fun of the people that get words wrong.
Yeah.
And they're like, you spell it. I was like, nah, man.
It's easy.
I'm going to sit back here and laugh at you.
We're talking about the green machines.
That was the joke. This is your lead-in joke that you want to use.
No, because every time I say
for these legends.
Every time I say a dad joke, you're like, eh.
Yeah, but you couldn't think of anything for 4 turtles? Really? Really?
I just did. Green machines.
No, that's not for 4 turtles. That's 4 machines.
Green machines.
Someone that you talking about?
Turtle Power.
TD Bank.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah!
That's a deep cut.
It is. It's really not a deep cut.
That's a good one.
They have their own fucking arena in Boston, which never made sense to me.
That's a good one.
But we are talking about...
Yeah, safe to say that probably one of our favorite properties of all time.
Safe to say one of the most beloved properties of all time.
Oh, that's a good one, yeah.
In several mediums is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Which is hilarious because it's such a mouthful of a name. It's such a random.
That's what sticks, though.
Yeah,
that's one of the things.
It's so ridiculous.
It's one thing to find teenagers.
Quality, right?
It's one thing to find mutants, but to find teenage mutants that are ninjas and turtles, you're gonna remember that shit.
Yeah.
That's gonna stick on the playground.
So thank you, Kevin Eastman and David Laird, the creators of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Which, by the way, everybody who knows them knows that it's a spin-off of Daredevil, or a parody of Daredevil.
Parody, yeah. And New Mutants, and I believe they had some, like Ronin was another inspiration. I know Daredevil and like
Daredevil was the big
the
one,
Hand, but
yeah.
I
Well, not just that, but
they're pulling from a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah, well, the ooze that mutated them, like the ooze is like the shit that hit Matt, blinded him.
Right.
Master Splinter is like a nicer, not blind version of Stick. Raphael, red and uses size, and angry, very.
Does Daredevil use size?
No, but Elektra does.
Okay.
Elektra's red, size, angry, and then the big obvious
they're
one. They're
both kind of bitches.
Yeah, exactly. And
was that the big one?
No, the obvious one was the Foot Clan and the Hand. Right? Yeah, one's the Foot.
Yeah, you can kind of make a parallel to Krang and Kingpin.
Yeah. Yeah,
if you really want to make a stretch. If you're writing an essay, you can pull a couple pages.
The influences are there. I mean, obviously it grew to its own thing.
Very fast.
Very quickly, fast. Yeah, very effectively.
Very fast. Considering it took them only like 4 years to go from like a newspaper comic, essentially.
I think it started as a comic strip, yeah.
To what it is now is like a multi-billion-dollar deal. But in like 4 years, they got TV distribution as a cartoon, which is unheard of, especially at that time, right? Mid 80s, they're like, okay, we're going to trust you to do not only your own cartoon, because we don't know you guys from blank, right? Like, you're not working with Marvel or DC or Archie Comics yet. But we're trusting you two relative unknowns and this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle idea. Which to any adult, first time hearing, I don't know if they would be able to buy into it as much as children did.
Yeah, it's interesting because when it did start out, it was actually like with the Mirage comics. Yeah, I'll run them down right now. But the Mirage comics started in '84, right? And it ran. The first volume ran from '84 to '93. That was the black and white one, where they all had. It was all black and white.
The Bible, what built the canon?
And it was dark. It wasn't for kids, right? Like the when it became the show in '87.
That's whoever wanted to market it decided, hey, we got something here that we could kind of widespread bend. Yeah. And churn out to the message. Whoever's marketing that really deserves the real paycheck. Yeah. Because I don't know if Eastman would have thought, hey, let's
turn this into a kid show.
Yeah, let's scale all this back. Like, could you imagine Daredevil as a Saturday morning? Like, hey guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
let's go on pizza together. It's like, nah, man. Like, this is the man with no fears.
Like, they started out as one thing and then just reimagined it into something completely different. Not completely. Change the tone.
Yeah, they just kind of
wildly,
for lack of a better word, they watered it down. Yeah, but it just made it like a Kool-Aid that everyone could drink.
Yeah, but because
as opposed to hard liquor.
Because it started as comics, we can do the rundown of just real quickly the history of their comics because it's vast. It's got a lot of shit.
Their canon is huge.
Like I said, Mirage started in '84, which is before our time, before we were born. Yep. 84 to 93 is the first volume, so there's several volumes, right? Then they have like the Tales of the Turtles, which was started in '87, which it was only 7 issues, but it filled in the gap, the continuity gaps, right, for the actual series. Which the first volume was 62 issues, which is a long time, right? That's 7, 6, 79
Those are
years.
A lot of stories for Turtles.
Yeah.
And not a lot of pizza.
No.
So those that are thinking like, hey man, they had a fun adventures, not really. Like, this is dark brooding, like, I gotta fuck up some ninja shit.
Yeah. And they talk dirty. Use bad words.
It makes sense in New York. If there's one place you're supposed to talk.
But so that first volume was the black and white one from '84 '93. Volume 2 started in '93 went to '95. That's when they were given all the red masks. Right. So they all had.
They just added color.
Yeah, they had color, but they didn't get the different colored masks yet.
They're still fighting as one. Yeah. Which makes more sense. So that was volume... To the ninja way, the hand, the bowl, and then the homage, I guess, if you want to say homage to Daredevil.
Yeah, Red again, right? Yeah, that's true. Volume 2 was '93 '95, so there's only 13 issues. But that's where they got the colored mask or the red mask. In '88, going back to Step, that's when Archie Comics started doing it. Right. So it was still Eastman and Laird at first, but they only did it for about 3 issues, and it was based off the cartoon. Right. For the first 3 to 5 issues, and then they were just
they said their own canon.
Yeah, well, they were stretching themselves too thin, so they gave it to other creators, and they just changed. They didn't base it on the cartoon anymore. They started making their own.
That was after Image, right? Image.
No. Image was after this.
Okay.
This is ours. I'm kind of jumping around a bit.
Fair enough.
So yeah, Mirage Volume 1 was '84 '93. Volume 2 was from '93 '95.
Image is a clusterfuck of like.
Yeah, Image.
We could do whatever we want. It's like, whoa. Yeah. They went nuts with it.
Image started in '96. So Image was actually the stuff that started on Mirage was Volume 1 and 2.
Right. Was carried over.
Image was Volume 3.
They picked it up.
Yeah.
But they really ran with it, as Image does. Yeah, right. They ran the stuff that they did. I don't. Are we spoilers? Are we like telling people like something crazy?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, like Leonardo lost a hand.
Yeah.
That's where like Donatello becomes
robot,
like kind of metalhead before metalhead kind of shit. Like Raphael like loses half of his face, kind of like it got weird. Dark. Yeah. But then they had cool crossovers, so like Savage Dragon is all over that shit. Yeah. There's another cool crossover too. But like Image just kind of bled out, and they're like, we can do whatever we want. And I think the creators are like, hold on.
Well, you can't do it. So
no, that's a lot to keep up with.
All that shit went on for like 23 issues, so it was about 3 years, right? 96, 99.
I think Michelangelo was useless.
Yeah. So when Mirage got it back for the Volume 4, they actually announced that all of Volume 3 was non-canon.
It was a dream. Yeah. There's like,
so that we're just gonna skip
we'll
that.
Sweep over.
So it goes Volume 1, 2, and then 4, and 3 is kind of like its own thing.
Which, in terms of comics, like there's several runs that are synonymous for collectors, just for the fact of like how rare they are. So the first set was like printed on this like special type of newspaper that was the cheapest kind. So they were so frail, and only like 3,000 were printed. So that in itself makes it a collector. But like in terms of Volume 3, because it was so panned by the actual creators and how they skipped over the canon, like that's a collector. Like as a collector, like, oh, I want all this shit where like this doesn't even count anymore. Like, so they kept building their own mythos, which was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's just like it's so Turtles, and there's so many different. Like this is the beginning of all these different like
variations,
takes on it, right? And yes, so it went Volume 1, 2 in Mirage, Volume 3 to Image, Volume 4 came back to Mirage. And it was from 2001 to 2014. Right. Only 32 issues in that time because there was a break. So they got it in 2001, and then around 2006, 2007, Eastman and Laird took a break to work on the movie that was coming out, the anime movie. Right. And they just kind of never came back to it. They released over 7 years. After that, they released 4 issues.
I mean, to their credit, the movie was really good.
Yeah, it was. But
we'll get there.
We'll get there. So it was just kind of crazy. So. And then the Tales of the TMNT Volume 2 started in 04 to 2010, and that was about 70 issues. So Volume 1 is 62 issues, Volume 2 is 7 issues. Volume 2 is 13 issues, Volume 3 was 23 issues, and then Volume 4 was 32 issues, not including the Tales of Turtles. The first volume was 7 issues, and the second volume was 70 issues.
Good lord.
So that's just the Mirage and Image stuff. If you go to
their run.
Yeah, if you go to the Archie comics,
that's
you're talking about
completely different set.
Yeah, so that's 72 issues in itself.
And preferred too, like the artwork changed. It was a little more vibrant. They gave everyone their own color masks and stuff.
Yeah, that was where all the colors pop. There's actually a panel of Raph punching Hitler in the face. So they didn't. Yeah, they're just pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So they really went off the show, and that was for the betterment of it.
But I think that was their most successful run was Archie. Because they had the mass produced.
Right,
They had that kind of corporation put behind the machine.
And it was, the guys that Eastman Laird gave them off to was Ryan Brown and Stephen Murphy. Those duos, and they started creating all these weird things. Like they had the Mighty Mutant Animals in it. Okay. Which was
those are
like spin-offs.
Uzda dudes?
Pretty much, yeah. So there was what's that name? Man Ray.
Humanoids.
Yeah, there was Man Ray, Jaguar, Leatherhead, Mondo Gecko. Remember the guy?
Mondo Gecko, that was a great toy. Because you would always lose the tail.
So then the TV, the show was like, oh, we're gonna start taking from this too. Right. So they kind of were sharing.
Because the cartoon in itself, the '80s one, was an explosion of just like Dimension X stuff and
it got weird. It got crazy.
It didn't stay in New York very long. But like as soon as we can open a portal, as soon as we can pull a Technodrome out, we're doing it. Right?
It got crazy. Yeah. So that's. Yeah, that was the Archie one. So that went from 88 to 95, 72 issues. There was a short stint with Dreamwave Publishing, which is 7 issues based on the 03 cartoon.
Okay.
But it's only 7 issues.
Limited run.
Then there's the IDW stuff, which is the stuff that I really got into. Because around the time I was getting back into comics, this was released, so it started in 2011. Then I got back into comics around 2012.
Now, for those that don't know what IDW...
It's a different publisher, yeah. Kind of, we'll have an episode on that. We'll have an episode on that coming up because they got a lot of property. They take a lot of properties.
And check out our episodes on Image because we reference them as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think we're gonna have to do Archie because I like Archie.
Well, yeah, we gotta do Archie. Yeah, we gotta do
Archie. That was a good run, surprisingly.
Yeah. Archie's got some gems. Like Archie kind of has some gems. It is. But IDW 2011 is still going on today, so that's going on to the present.
So that's the one that you're most familiar with, but that's the one that you.
That's the one I'm most familiar with because that's the one I've read.
The most,
right? They're close to 100 issue 100 now. I saw that, and I read up to about issue 50 something.
Yeah, it's ongoing.
It's ongoing. It's very good, and they reimagined some things, but it works, and it's fucking well written. It's got the juvenile humor, but it mixes in with some real dark things. Like they changed some things, like Hun, for example.
Okay, I like Hun. Hun is a cool character.
Yeah, Hun's cool. He starts out as Casey Jones' dad. And he's a drunk. He's an abusive drunk.
and then just kind of beefs himself up into this.
No, he beats up on Casey Jones, and that's what kind of pushes Casey Jones into the whole vigilante shit. So they change things like that, right? Like they were never related before.
They don't make him like a beefed up.
Oh, he's huge.
He's
huge. Yeah, he's huge. Yeah, and then he gets in with the Purple Dragons and all that shit, right?
Yeah, this is definitely a property that has rewarded its fans for sticking with it because it's grown, and whoever takes it on can remember when it first came out.
Yeah, and
they take what they love about it and then just add on it.
Well, what's cool is too. So I think that covers it for the comic runs. So we covered. Anybody who's like listen back and wants to jump into any of those, we got the issues and the breakdowns and all that stuff. So we can move on to something with TV shows.
We do anything. That's the thing about we could have done a whole episode on just the toys. Because anyone that's listening and is a fan of Ninja Turtles from the 80s, 90s has a set of toys that they fucking love.
Yeah.
And there's so many toys.
Well, let's talk about the TV shows because that's what I was getting into.
Sure.
Was about. It's so cool. It's one of the only properties where it's like, no matter where you were born, no matter when you were born, you kind of grew up with an iteration of it.
Yeah, you have your own version. It's like the Batman theory. Like you grew up with, Christian Bale was my Batman, so you're from this era.
Yeah.
For me, and I believe for Coke as well, Keaton is our Batman. Yeah. Because we're from the 80s, 90s, right? That's when we got our first Batman. Yeah. So to that extent, but this one is way more detailed and we're beloved, right? But everybody is a Ninja Turtle. Like we can still wear Ninja Turtle shirts at events, and people are like, yeah, I love Ninja Turtles, right? Like it's so well recognized.
And it's cool because out of the iterations, I guess there's 3 of them now, right? That you could kind of base on,
right? The original,
the R is the 80s, 90s one, right? 2000,
the blunted nose,
and there's like
full nose,
the 2012 ones,
sharp nose,
but nobody hates,
Michael Bay.
Like, you know how they usually have your conflicts, like, oh no, this is the real Batman. All the turtle people are like, oh, what's yours? Oh, cool, mine's this.
Yeah,
right on.
And this is what I liked about yours. Yeah. This is what I liked about yours. Yeah,
they're such agreeable fans. I don't know.
And very passionate fans, because when we get into movie, we'll talk about where everybody turned on, turned on the franchise, or turned on who had the reins of it. But originally, and then, going back to the original 80s cartoon, something that was a complete mindfuck once you grew up was learning that the voice of Shredder was... Oh my gosh. Like the one true voice, James Avery, who, if you don't know, is Uncle Phil. Yeah, rest in peace. Yeah. But, iconic voice, because as soon as you hear, damn those turtles, I was like, oh my gosh. Right?
It's him. But you didn't know it.
You didn't know you're a kid, and you didn't know what he was going to end up being when you were like a young adult, a teen. It's like, he's Uncle Phil.
Why do I know that voice?
Uncle Phil is Shredder.
Yeah.
And I think that's maybe the best property to handle Shredder too.
Yeah.
The cartoon.
Yeah. There's different.
I'm not comparing it to the comic, which is way more serious, but in terms of just
way more serious.
Yeah.
Way more serious.
In terms of this, there's a dude that's wearing razors walking through New York, and he's trying to fight a whole bunch of mutated tortoises, reptiles, amphibians. This is what you want, right?
And that's what I take away from the IDW run, the comics. Why I like that more as an adult than the cartoons,
right?
Because it takes itself more seriously, and the cartoons
the cartoon was trying to sell you toys, and it did. Exactly. I had so many toys. But that's one of the things with the initial run from those billionaires now. They only had this little comic, and whoever had the foresight to be like, hey, let's put this on TV so we can get it to kids.
Yeah.
And then we can get a deal with, I believe it was Play Arts? No, that's not right. They got a deal with a great toy manufacturer and essentially just kept churning out toys. Because if you remember the 80s, 90s cartoons, every other episode was a new character.
Oh my god.
Or a new villain. Or a new weapon. Or a new, they had a blimp. Like the turtle blimp. You remember the turtle blimp?
That was awesome, yeah.
The Technodrome. Yeah. The Turtle Van. They had what were the skateboards in the sewer? There's always something they're like, I want it.
There's Pizza Face.
There's pizza. Then they had the pizza shooters. I remember they had there's these Nerf gun pizza shooters. Yeah. Literally, you could talk about the toys till the cows come home. But that was the great thing about being a Saturday morning cartoon. Obviously, you can get your demographic, and then the commercial was exactly what you wanted to sell them, which was the amazing toys.
Do you know how long our version of it ran for?
It was 9 seasons.
Yeah, it was fucking 10 years.
Yeah,
87 and 96. I didn't realize that went that far in the 90s.
And they were like one season had like 40 something episodes in it. Yeah. They went for it.
The first season was only 5 episodes because it was only supposed to be that mini-series.
Right.
I think it's the best 5 episodes of the show, but
probably that was probably the most contained and the most control that the creators had over it.
And Shredder's not quite a fucking
he's not a backstory.
Yeah, he's not quite silly. He's still kind of got the menacing aspect.
Now, do you want to talk about the changes from the comic to the TV show? Because one of them being that. Well, let's do the main one. So, from the comic, essentially, Splinter had a master,
right?
Whose name was
Hamato Yoshi.
But in the TV show, they made Hamato Yoshi
him.
Splinter, so something that they kind of fused together, and they just gave him the ooze.
And see, in the new one, in the new comic books,
right?
It's spoilers in case you read these. They're
it's not spoilers. You would still read the comic book even though if you know that happened.
They're
oh, you guys read the Batman penis ones.
They're reincarnations.
Okay.
So Hamato Yoshi had 4 sons, and they all got killed.
Oh wow!
And they reincarnated when these turtles and rat got touched by the ooze.
Okay.
Their souls jumped into these bodies.
Nice.
So it's the same. It's similar to the cartoon, but in the cartoon
they put their own spin.
Yeah, it was like that's what I mean. There's like little twists and turns because in the cartoon
that reward the fans of the show, the comic book.
Yeah, because in our show, Hamato Yoshi was just hanging out in the sewers,
right?
And Orokosaki, who's Shredder, flooded the sewers with the ooze. He sent it to try and kill him. He turned him into a rat somehow.
Yeah, and then from the comic book, it's actually like they were both in the foot.
Yes, they were both original creators of the foot.
Right.
So they were both generals of the foot.
But obviously, a woman got in the way.
Yeah, Pussy got him killed. Pussy gonna get him killed.
Their poor little butterfly, and I believe,
they went different directions, kind of like Magneto.
Well, Hamato Yoshi and his girl fled to New York, and then he tracked him down. And then as he's practicing, there's another rat in the cage. That's why I love the movie.
Movies, yeah.
Oh, so good. But that's directly lifted from the comic, right? Like as his master is training, this rat is picking up all of the. Oh, we didn't even talk about the whole martial arts that they know. They know not ninjutsu, which is
but they know all sorts of different things.
But they made that up for, right? Ninjutsu is not a real thing.
I don't.
Someone's gonna tweet me
I don't.
How dare you say that?
I don't want to piss off that crowd.
Well, yeah,
no, I'm just kidding.
I will, because I already don't like.
I don't know.
I already don't like Shanghai, so I don't mind if we say that ninjutsu's not real. But that's the martial discipline that Splinter ends up learning. Touches the ooze, teaches it to his 4 adopted sons.
Yeah,
and they all become masters.
Yeah, and so that's an example of how things change in every iteration. It's like they're the same, or they're similar, but they're not the same.
It's the same skeletal structure, but they're
we just talked about.
This is the muscle.
We just talked about 3 different things. All we know is that Orokosaki and Hamato Yoshi knew each other.
Right.
One ends up being Shredder. One ends up being a rat.
End up on polar opposites.
And then there's a woman in between them. And
so that's kind of your New Mutants tie-in. If you're doing Professor X and Magneto.
Yeah. If you wanted to, they started as allies and they kind of diverged different paths on where to take the foot, basically. In the IDW.
Okay.
And then so you know what I mean? They knew each other and they had beef and wanted to be a rat. Turns into a rat. So it's always a similar idea, but it happens differently in every iteration, every show, it's always just a slight difference, and nobody really cares as long as it's not. Oh, that makes sense.
As long as you get the Turtles right,
just get the personalities right, man.
And keep Splinter Brown, I'm good with it. But that doesn't always happen.
No, it doesn't. No,
we're not going there yet.
He's been great.
We'll still talk about the new Turtles because I haven't been fortunate enough to see all of them, but you checked out the new, they had. So there was the 1988 or 87.
Yeah, 87 till
96. 96. Okay, yeah. Stopped for a little bit. They did movies for a while.
Hold on, you're missing. That's what I thought. There's actually a hidden gem.
Are you talking about the live action?
Yeah.
Well, that's not a cartoon, but yeah, I didn't forget about it.
Right.
It's just
Saban's Ninja Turtles.
It's forgettable. Yeah, it's serviceable because it's kind of taking place right after Secret of the Ooze.
It's very 90s.
It very much is
fucking 90s.
But there's a lot of stuff shoehorned in, like Hummers.
It took place after the 3rd movie.
Did it? After the time travel?
98, dude. That's I thought it was mid-90s. It's later than that.
It's bad.
And they were trying to capitalize on the whole Power Rangers fame. Because remember that there was Power Rangers, there was VR Troopers, there was Beetleborgs, there was this, there was fucking that.
And then there was the
Turtles.
Turtles.
Like, let's put Turtles in there.
Yeah, and then they also had the crossover episode where
where
Turtles
they
meet
met
the Power Rangers.
the Power Rangers,
another level of my childhood.
Then they had the female turtle. What was her name?
Venus.
Venus something. Was that her name?
Yeah, it was a play on Venus the Mile, because obviously they're all named after masters.
Yeah.
But she was weird, because she had, like, turtle breasts.
Yeah, it was bizarre.
And I don't really know how female amphibians work, but I don't think they have breasts.
I don't think they have breasts.
Especially shaped into their shell, which is
supposed to be... and their shell's slender.
Yeah, it's like, it was a form-fitting shell. I was like, this is wrong.
Is it like a mono?
I'm not a kid, but this is wrong.
Yeah, this is weird. And then she was blue as well. She was just a light blue.
Yeah.
So, like, what the...
It was like, are you related to these guys?
And they didn't have the license. They didn't have the license for Shredder and Krang, so they had.
They had to bring in this new.
They had like this monkey mob boss, and they had
weird.
The Dragon Lord dude.
It's funny, but don't like. I wouldn't treat it as canon.
God no. I'd watch it high or
drunk,
or
with
like
friends.
Yeah.
Make a drinking game every time you see a Hummer.
You have a kid, maybe the kid will enjoy it.
It is because I remember when I was 8 going to my parents taking me to Disney World, and they had the whole. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle like backlot.
Yeah.
So you could go meet your favorite Ninja Turtle. So it was like that, but like the suit was better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's like Disney quality.
It looks shit.
Like if you ever seen like a Mickey up close, it's like you guys paid attention to this.
Yeah.
Like I got to like take pictures with like Leonardo and like sign my autograph book and shit. Like it was legit, right? And then they do a stage show with like, flips and stuff and kick over. But the TV show, no.
No, it was weird. No. And then the white knee-high socks they had on.
But that's the thing. After the third movie, I think they changed the whole. Like, Jim Henson wasn't making their suits anymore.
No, the third movie was a turning point. It was clear.
Yeah, we're all over the board here.
It was clear, but
we're trying to go by time. But
no, we're trying to go by like genre. So go back to the.
So its live action show is its own monster.
Yeah, I just want to throw that in there because it was.
A lot of people don't bring up, but it's definitely worth checking out, especially if you haven't checked it out.
Just look at the first episode.
After you check it out, just laugh and then go. Remember that there's better stuff out there for Ninja Turtles.
Glad I wasn't around for this being.
Yeah, I would hate to be coming up and be like, "This was my Ninja Turtles." You remember Venus? And I was looking at you like, "No, don't."
It only aired for a year, and then they pulled the plug because it was bad.
Yeah,
it wasn't good. As a kid, you don't fucking care. Like, you eat it all up.
You want the toys, you want
Ninja Turtles. You just eat it up.
Give me a shirt. Give me the gun.
But you were saying, the second cartoon, so the first one was 87 to 96, the second one was 2003 to 2010.
So, like, they changed animation styles, which was the first.
No pupils.
Okay, like, going back to the 80s one, as good as we remember it, like, I remember, like, the coloration was bad, like, animation was choppy, like, going back to it, like, as an adult.
Yeah.
Like, colors bled.
Yeah.
Like, the voiceover didn't always match up.
No.
They were, like, random turtles were you talking with Leonardo's voice? I was like, wait a minute. So, as great as we remember it, it wasn't all
I watched an episode
roses.
Today. Just, like, from season 3. I was like...
It's like... Wow.
Like, it's nostalgia.
Really
Nostalgia can only take you so far. You know what I mean?
Well, it blinds you when you're a dumb little kid. Right?
So we talk about the first series like it's amazing, and it's got very good parts. Like when it was in its prime, it was great.
Right, but when it's not, it's bad. I mean, it's not bad.
There's almost 200 episodes.
Yeah.
So
but that was just them churning it out. It's like we need to make more money.
Yeah.
We don't even care if you color it right. It's like, oh, come on, guys. But moving on, they switched up their style. They went back to. They went back to what worked, right? Because obviously the comic books were still working for an older audience, but they need a way to capitalize on the younger audience. So 2003 comes along.
03 to 2010, and that was. So I don't know. I wasn't 2003. I think I caught a bit of it, like the first season maybe.
Right.
I don't think I was into it too much then, but because I was like, oh, it's not my Ninja Turtles, right? I was a little bit older.
But this is when they changed the animation style.
Yeah, and it was actually good. Like I go back, it was.
It looked like anime.
The animation was cool.
They're a lot more stockier. They wouldn't go slim,
and it was a little darker. It was a little bit more mature. Like it wasn't. They weren't all goofy, right?
Legit anime, right? So a lot of action scenes and like the fast like moving of the weapons and everything like that. Like they were playing into. Okay, this is a little more. Adulter audience, but still the Turtles that you love because we're still mean green kicking machines,
and the characters were still on point. Like all their different personalities,
right?
Was still on point. It was good. It's actually a good show. It's probably going back now. To be honest, it's probably better than the first one.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Well,
Like,
at least story wise, right? Because they were.
Oh, it had great arcs.
Yeah.
It had these nice, long, lengthy arcs. I haven't watched it all, but I remember looking it up and stuff, and there were some big arcs and some important things happened.
Well, they had
some weird shit happened.
They had the Bushido rabbit. What's the rabbit? The crazy rabbit in there.
Oh,
he was in that
He was
too?
from the first series.
I know, but like this is when I like paid
Yojimbo.
attention to it. Yeah, this is when I paid attention. The only time I remembered them when I was a kid was the toy.
Yeah.
Like it's hard to remember all the cartoon first appearances of all the crazy stuff that.
Well, he was from a different. Usagi Wajimbo. He was from a different. Like,
was he Dimension?
thing. Yeah, well, he was, but he was from a whole different fucking. He wasn't from the Turtles property, right? He was his own thing.
He was like a carryover.
Yeah, he was his own
so
thing, but they
in this.
integrated him into it.
Right.
He kind of became the Usagi Wajimbo, right? The ninja, the samurai rabbit.
Badass.
Miyamoto Usagi was his name. Usagi Wajimbo was his show.
Yeah, come to think about it, this was. I mean, I don't know how far you want to go in appropriation and cultural appropriation, but like they were very. I want to say they were very respectful to the Asian culture because they were pulling a lot of it over, especially when it comes to like samurai, the hand, all these Asian-inspired martial arts. But they would bring in characters that look like the ones that you would expect them to look like.
Yeah.
There wasn't a lot of
whitewash.
I don't want to say whitewashing, but I mean you put an animal over it.
Yeah.
So depending on the color of the animal.
Yeah.
But there seemed to be a lot of respect, especially for this specific iteration of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
They really wanted to tell a story. Like they knew they would get you with Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
But just make sure the story works as well.
And it was cool because you could throw anything Anthem from Orgrick into it. Like here's a rabbit. Oh, here's a manta ray. Oh, and I was like, okay, let's keep it rolling. This is pretty cool.
It works if you got the story right. Because I remember Street Sharks being around.
Ninja,
not for so long.
But that wasn't Turtles. That wasn't Turtles. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, those are the ripoffs, right? So
yeah.
there was the time in the 90s where like all we need is 4 different things.
No, son.
And we could get. They had cool toys. They just didn't last.
They're
right?
great toys.
Fair enough.
Pull back on the fan and the mouth open.
Yeah, and then it comes in a cage.
Yeah.
They can break out of the cage.
Yeah.
Like the marketing was there, but if there's no story, there's no sustainability.
Yeah, exactly.
Because nobody's talking about Street Sharks in the podcast for an hour. I think we could. That'd be a good movie, man. Just to keep it away from Michael Bay. I'm pitching a Street Sharks.
If you're doing Street Sharks, I'm doing Biker Mice from Mars.
Which is another property that kind of took its run from Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
So, if we're talking about the roots of cartoons and like maybe the pillars of all these animals getting to become superheroes, Ninja Turtles was definitely the first, if not one of the first.
Yeah, 2003. So the second series, 2003 series, it got a little weird because there was different. There was like an Utrom fucking shredder at the end of it too, which is Utrom was like. In case you don't know what Krang is Utrom, right? So there's actually a guy in a suit that was supposed to be Shredder.
Right.
It got kind of weird at the end, so I think the first 3 or 4 seasons is where you kind of want to keep it.
Well, I want to say, don't say weird, just say this is their spin on it, right?
Yeah,
so
but it got way. Well, no,
you think it went completely over the?
Yeah, there was.
You can say that about the first iteration.
No, I can, but there was a break in production too. Like so.
Okay, so
it's not just a show. It was kind of like it went on
changed.
hiatus for a year, and then it kind of came back, and it was. Got episodes mixed up, like, oh no, this is actually in between this season and this season, even though it's season.
You mean what happened with Beast Wars and then Beast Machines?
Beasties? Oh yeah, God, no, don't even say that.
Well, yeah, Beasties is what they call it in Canada.
Beast Wars is amazing. It's amazing. We gotta do an episode on that.
We should.
Because that show is fucking dope.
Yeah, that was crack. That was like kids were like, oh my gosh, that's 3D.
Yeah.
But then Beast Machines came back like 2 years later, and I was like, oh no,
this is over my. Back on.
Yeah, they went back to Cybertron, and it was all over my head.
It's shite.
It looked better. It was cleaner.
So, and then so in the third series, did you watch it from 2012 to 2016?
Is this the Nickelodeon, like the 3D?
Nickelodeon one. This is the
Is this where Donatello has a gap between his teeth?
Correct.
I like it, but I don't like how geeky he made it. So I've seen some of it, but it's actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I saw first few episodes.
Yeah,
that's about it.
It's good.
It's better than I thought. They get the characters, the personalities down point.
And that's the thing. Like you can always go back to these 4 archetypes. Once you get these guys correct, you're sold. And they represent the 4 basic archetypes that like. I don't even know the names of it, but like most of the shows that have 4 people in it, there's always. I don't want to say a leader, a kind of a hothead, a know-it-all and one that just wants to have fun.
Yeah.
I should have done my research and figured out what the actual.
I thought you were gonna go with like courage, bravery,
no,
intelligence.
there's something about like did you say farts? There's something about no, you can say farts too.
Yeah, I could say farts, but
there's something about each archetype represents something, and again.
Yeah, well, okay, so but this was the first show. It was different because it was the first show to do like the computer graphics,
right?
Which is kind of cool. They brought on their own things, like in the first couple of. So Krang wasn't just a guy; he was an entire race, which is funny because they're called Utrons. But anyways, they were called the Krangs, and there was a bunch of them, and they were in like.
But it's not the Krangs that I always wanted to know.
Men in Black.
It was the name of the robotic dude that he was rolled with. That I
don't think he had a name, dude. It was just like an android exoskeleton suit thing.
So they're all 4 temperaments. That's the fucking thing I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
And you can all go back to each 4 temperaments. So the originals are Sanguine.
Sanguine, yeah. Choleric, melancholic, and phlegmatic. Phlegmatic, yeah.
And each one of the turtles represents that.
We did a test at my old work.
Right.
My first job.
Which
to try to, because I'm going off kilter, but this is to go with your little thing there. All the new managers.
Okay.
We brought it to this thing, and we kind of this test, and it was my boss made us all go to kind of figure out what we were.
Right.
And so in that case, we could kind of
that's how you lead and you can manage. Yeah,
lead and treat each other differently. I was like hardcore sanguine.
Are you? That's not a good one.
It was like way up there. Like I was sanguine and something else. I want to say melancholy. But it was sanguine was like way up there. Like it was like
like the highest one.
Oh yeah. So much so that the lady giving it back our test because it was actually a written test. Like, oh, there you go. You're phlegmatic and melancholy. She goes, oh, you're our sanguine.
Wow.
She gave it to me. I was like, okay then.
I guess I am.
What the fuck does that mean? And then you kind of learn what the hell it means. But that was funny that when you started talking about that, it reminded me of
how sanguine
the
you are.
old days.
How sanguine you really are.
Sounds.
You're just being sanguine, really.
So yeah, 2012 to 2016. So that's like the third era. So we were talking about whatever you grow up with is kind of your Turtles, right? So that was kind of
you're brought into this world.
Yeah, 2012 to 2016 would be the guys that born in the late 2000s. So the really weird guys, this little snowflakes. So they're
wow, shots fired.
Yeah, so that'll be their generation. I don't know how old they'd be now, but
yeah, you would just do the math.
I don't want to.
It's 2020 right now.
I don't want to.
Do you remember when Avengers
2030?
You remember when Avengers 4 came out and all those guys died? It was insane.
Everybody.
I'm making that prediction now.
So we went through 3 series and then the Savants one. There is one more that started in 2018. So it's technically brand new still. Have you checked that out?
The newer one?
Yeah, the 2018 one.
There's not a newer one.
Yeah, it's called the Rise of the. It's not called. It's called the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they're back.
Yeah. So this is. I watched the first episode.
Okay.
Just to kind of get a taste of what it's like. There's things I love about it.
And there are things
like love about it.
Such as.
There's things I.
Give me the love list.
The animation.
Okay.
Is incredible. The animation and like the fighting and how it looks.
Right.
Is fucking amazing. Like I think it's amazing.
The best that you've seen.
It's kind of like. Yes.
Okay.
It is kind of like. Not the design, not so much the character designs, but the animation themselves.
Okay.
It's kind of like, and you're gonna laugh when I say this, but it's almost Ren and Stimpy-ish, in the fact.
This is me not laughing.
Yeah, no, okay, that's good, but it's kind of Ren and Stimpy-ish, but in the sense that everything's exaggerated, like hard. So it adds like it adds
to their emotions.
It adds exaggeration.
Okay.
And dramatics to everything.
So when they're fighting, it's exaggerated.
Yeah,
when they're
it's
just
crazy.
Talking and speaking
it's like Ren and Stimpy anime.
All right, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm intrigued.
We'll check. I'll show you what it's like. Let's pause it. We'll show. So aside from the style looks cool, but
right.
the actual character models I'm not crazy about. It's cool because the 4 of them are different types of turtles now, so they're not all the same. So they all have a reason to look different.
Different shapes, different.
Yeah, they're different types of turtle. Yeah.
Okay.
So they're not all the same. Right?
So that kind of goes back to the Nickelodeon one, the previous.
Yeah, this is Nickelodeon again, but yeah,
their first run, right? The 3D animation one.
Yeah,
that was the
different
first
colors. Yeah.
That was the first time, or maybe the cartoon movie was the first time where they kind of changed their shape.
Yeah.
And gave them more than just the headbands and colors.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. Yeah, but so the animation is really, really interesting, really cool. It's sharp. It's shaded. Is cool.
And you like the voice acting?
The voice acting, it's not bad.
Ben Schwartz.
Yeah, but okay.
Omar Benson Miller. Josh Brenner.
So the problem with it is
you'll Google them, you'll know who they are.
Yeah, the problem is everything else.
Brandon Michael Smith. Is it?
Yeah, everything else is the problem. Shredder's a deadbeat. The 4 turtles have virtually the same personality, right? So we're talking about as long as you get the characters right, you're solid. I only watched that one episode, but
that was enough for you to figure out what was going on.
It's fun. All right. So as long as you're not like I'm going in with like this is my turtle archetype, then you'll probably enjoy it because it's fast paced, it's fun, it's silly, really, really silly. Leonardo's like a goof too, like so they're all just.
Well, they're all goofs.
Yeah, they're all goofs. They get different weapons though. Their weapons break in an early fight, so they all get different weapons except for Donnie. So instead of the size, Raph has tonfas.
Okay.
And Michelangelo gets like a flail, and then Leo gets one sword. He gets like one big sword.
Okay.
So they're trying different things, and sure, that's fine, but it's.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a new world after Michael Bay.
Yeah. Well, fucking Michael Bay.
That's really what it is. He kind of reset the whole okay, so we can do anything with these guys now.
Fuck that guy, but those are.
That should have been your opening joke.
Fuck that guy.
So it's fun, but it's
not for me.
Didn't the original Ninja Turtles run when it was black and white? Weren't they all the same sort of character as well? Because they were all emulating. They all wore the same mask, when they first got red.
They had different personalities.
They had different names, but did they really have different personalities?
Not like drastic different personalities. No.
Okay, so then you could argue that this is kind of going back to its traditional comic book run.
You could argue that.
But I wouldn't.
No.
Just for argument.
I wouldn't back you up on that.
No, well, I'm already pulling out of my own argument, so clearly I'm not backing myself up. What I am backing up is do the movies.
Yeah, so let's get to the...
Do you want to reverse engineer this? Because that way we can talk about the shitty first.
You don't want to start, so you want to start with the newest? And
and then go back to...
Sure, we can do that.
Because we already talked... You already said fuck Michael Bay, so you must just go straight into Michael Bay. So never have I seen... Listen, I've been through a lot of movies coming from comics to the big screen. Never have I seen a blowback as large and as loud as when the first trailer dropped for the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles movie.
You know what's funny about that?
I haven't watched it since the time I snuck in to see it in the theater.
You know what's funny about that is that I had a couple people, because everybody, it's no secret that I love Turtles, no secret that you love Turtles.
Sure.
So when the first trailer dropped, people that some people I haven't even talked to in months, oh, Coke, here's this trailer, check it out, I thought of you, and I was like, oh sweet, and I watched it, I was like,
yeah, because you typically never chase down trailers.
No,
you're okay, just let me know when the movie opens. Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah,
but I'm a very much trailer junkie. I love the tease to get to that.
So
our first iterations of seeing it were delivered to us differently, but the very exact same reaction to this monstrosity.
And it's weird because people are like, "Oh, check this out! I'm excited." They're excited to show me, and I watch it. I was like, "What in the fuck is this?
What is this Goomba on my TV screen?"
Yeah, they look like Goombas from the Super Mario movie.
We should talk about that as well.
Terrible.
It's just bad. And here's the thing: he got down the personalities, and he gave
close enough.
He gave them enough, I guess, pieces of flair to let them know that they're different, because each shell and they kind of pick up garbage.
He overdid it though. He overdid it.
He did. I think he knew what he had and just ran with it.
Yeah, he just Michael Bayed it.
But the fact that he literally made them look like mutants was such a slap in the face to so many people's childhood.
Such a weird.
It's we've watched you already do this with Transformers, and we were praying for you to just plagiarize everything that you've seen. It's not hard to take everything good from something.
He has to do his own goddamn thing. He has to. It's not he cannot.
I think the action scenes were good,
Because it's Michael Bay.
He's good at that.
Nobody's arguing his ability to film like
I think
entertaining action scenes.
We can argue that.
Well, we can argue that, but I'm not gonna. That's not the jumping on point.
Okay,
the jumping on point is that he has to do everything himself because he is who he is.
Right.
So he'll take whatever it is and then just twist it to some ridiculous style that nobody's.
It was definitely stylized. I will give them that. So the trailer was already a letdown, not only because the characters looked horrible.
Yeah.
But they gave away all the best moments of it in the trailer, which was essentially everyone only talks about the mountain, the random mountain that they found in New York.
Yeah.
That they all do this crazy fighting down. So this movie came out we're talking about the first one, because the second one, I argue, we'll get there.
Yeah.
This one came out in 2014, and obviously it's been a while since we had gotten a Ninja Turtle movie.
Right.
But the last one was...
the last live action one was like
98?
No, not even that. 93.
No.
93, dude. Turtles 3 was 93.
Fair enough. Because they were knocking them out 1 year after.
Yeah, it was 90, 91, 93 was the original trilogy.
So it had been a while since we got a live action movie and everyone was excited. And obviously with technology, we were expecting the best of it.
Yeah.
We didn't really get that because they did mo capture. And then they plastered these weird CGI monsters on top of it.
Yeah.
And then the casting was weird across the board.
Yeah.
Megan Fox is your April O'Neil.
Oh God, I hate it so much.
William Fincher, who is a good actor.
Okay, who the fuck was William Fincher?
He's Shredder.
Exactly. Eric Sachs.
Right. And the only Ninja Turtle voice that I do recognize, although, no, I remember that they originally had actors run around in the mocap suits.
Yeah.
But for a couple of the Turtles and Splinter, they did voiceover work for them. So it's like you doubled down on, like, why'd you even get actors to put on that? Yeah. So you have Alan Ritson playing Raphael. If you've ever watched Blue Mountain State, he's Thad.
Oh, yeah.
He's great at that.
I didn't even recognize
that. That was amazing. Noel Fisher as Michelangelo. He's done a couple things. So Pete Poletsk plays Leonardo, but then they ended up getting Johnny Knoxville to do the voiceover. And when you think of leader,
fucking right, that's so Michael Bay.
And tradition, and like honor, and like keeping the family together for the way of the ninjutsu, you think of Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, absolutely. Jackass is the first thing.
And Jeremy Howard as Donatello. Who
I don't know what that is.
I can give you some of his IMDb credits. It doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't. And then Toli Shalhoub as the voice of Splinter, which wasn't bad.
No,
but I don't like. No. It was a white rat.
Listen, the movie. That
was weird.
The movie sucked. Like it's just fucking like. Honestly, I watched it and I was like halfway through. I was like, "This is fucking bad." Like, bad. Yeah, okay. That's so the action 31
scenes,
on
Metascore.
So the action scenes are, they're good. But
they're Bay-esque.
I don't fucking care.
But it's not a movie.
I don't care what's going on.
No.
Nothing is making sense. There's plot holes galore. It was
an excuse for toys, and then the toys are like ugly.
Yeah.
Because you had to look at these weird.
It was faces. Oh, it's so bad.
So it was bad. So this was the worst. I would say this, if we're ranking them out of worst to best, the first one of the new Michael Bay era
was terrible.
Was the worst one. Then, arguably, I would go to Turtles 3, Turtles in Time.
I haven't watched that recently. I have to watch it again because it might be the worst movie out there.
The only really good thing I remember liking about it was the set design.
Teaching them hockey.
Set design and Casey Jones. Casey Jones shines way more than anybody else in this movie because he gets to play the fish out of water, teaching these samurais. So the whole premise of the story is the turtles find this scepter, and apparently it controls the sands of time. If they all touch it, they go back to ancient China.
It's China, right?
I would assume so. Even though they're in New York,
seen the movie,
right?
I think once.
Even though they're in New York, right? So, and typically with these like bending films, wherever you're standing is typically the moment in time you go back.
Yeah.
Like Back to the Future went back in time.
Normally.
To where he was in that time. So them transforming back in time and then going all the way to Japan to 4 samurais who are also holding the scepter at the same time doesn't make sense. No. And I'm a kid, so I get things. But then there's this whole like we have to save this kingdom from this invading army. and we're gonna dress up like Ninja Turtle samurais, which is excuse to sell more toys. It's not good.
Everywhere is just a fucking like.
And then the samurais that come back in time are spending most of the film in those what are the sumo diapers that they wear? Basically sumo diapers.
Yeah, sumo diapers. Yeah.
Until Casey Jones decides to dress them up into like New York people. Again, you're just watching it for. I hope there's a hilarious auto commentary to it, but you're just watching it for Casey Jones. If you love the original Casey Jones casting, this is the movie where he shines. That's my second least of a terrible situation.
And then also don't forget that the character models changed too.
Yeah.
Is this where Jim Henson bailed? Or
yeah.
I think this was...
They had Henson for the original first one and then Secret of the Ooze. By the third time, he was
something
gone.
else. So the character models all did. They had freckles and shit.
Yeah. They didn't even look like what I just remembered the year before. And I was like, what's going on? What have you done? So, I mean, check it out.
So that one's gone. If we're putting those at the bottom, the next one from the bottom has got to be Michael Bay's second one.
Yeah, Out of the Shadows.
Okay,
which is good.
No, it's not good.
It's good.
It's not good.
I'll tell you what's good about it.
There's the good things about it. Yeah, there's good things about it.
There's good things. So Baxter Stockman's back.
One thing I will say is...
He makes sense in this.
Yeah. And, okay, Tyler Perry as Baxter Stockman wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
No, and everyone thought it was going to be bad, and it was pretty good.
No, it was decent. I
don't know at what time that they decided that Baxter Stockman was going to be black, but it happened.
Oh, in the IDW comics he's black too.
Yeah, no, but it happened in the cartoons, because initially he was... In the video games...
They just Nick Fury.
If you remember, we haven't even talked about the video games.
They're just Nick Fury. There's too much speed.
But that's its own fucking amazing Turtles in Time, right? But in the video games, he's a white dude that turns into this purple fly.
Yeah.
And the toy, he still has his white hands.
Yeah.
And I think he was a ginger because he has orange hair.
Yeah, he's orange hair. Yeah.
But one day
he has crazy orange hair.
They're like, no, this black dude.
He's black also.
I'm not against affirmative action. I just like an explanation
the Nick Fury.
to it.
The Nick Fury.
That would make sense.
Yeah, it does. It is from the ultimate. But still, hey.
So that's something I like about it. I also like that this is the first movie that we finally get Rocksteady and Bebop.
Rocksteady, yeah.
And they did a decent job.
They did a decent job. It wasn't again. It was they Michael Bay it, so they were good, but they were a little too obnoxious. I don't know. It was kind of like I'm nitpicking because it's me,
they turned him up to 9, but this is what you need for a mutant warthog and a mutant rhinoceros.
Right. So I like.
And then the casting was great. So
I like how the casting's good. I like how
it's Gary Anthony Williams as Bebop. Who,
yeah.
If you don't know, he's Uncle Ruckus from Boondocks. You know that voice. And he's been in a whole bunch of other movies. I keep thinking of Soul Plane, but I don't want to throw.
Was it Rocksteady a wrestler?
Yeah, Rocksteady's Sheamus from the WWE, who still has his crazy mohawk from that movie that he shaved from it, and he looks badass. So I like the casting there. Like that made sense for me.
The casting was good. It was more the sort of writing for me. It was kind of like they were big and dumb and stuff, and that was funny. But then like when they're doing the cup of farts and then eating like spaghetti and top, like this is like there's like shit that you didn't need to do.
Well, I'm pretty sure that's Michael Bay.
Yeah.
Brian T. is Shredder.
He sucked.
You know, like
I like the idea of him. He just didn't. No, Shredder himself sucked.
Fair enough.
He just walked around. He didn't do fuck all.
Will Ferrell's back as Vernon Fenwick.
Okay, so
he has some good moments in it.
Yeah, he works just because he just plays like that whole element of like, oh, I'm the Falcon, whatever. Like it was. I don't know if I liked it or not.
It was funny. Like
because it's Will Arnett, I think it worked.
In a choice that I would have never made, they got Brad Garrett, who you would know from Everyone Loves Raymond, as the voice of Krang. So I'm from the generation where Krang's voice is up here, and they decided to move Krang's voice down here. Yeah, and I guess it works.
I don't know.
It's weird.
I didn't like Krang. Krang was pretty bad, but it was if you know how they met. The beginning of the movie, it made no fucking sense. Like it's just like, oh, here I'm crying. It's just like this is how it meets. This is literally how it meets. The meeting between Krang and Shredder is like fucking 30 seconds long, like a minute long, and it's just Shredder ends up in this. He just goes through a portal or whatever. Yeah, because they're trying to pull him out of a thing. He lands in Krang's lair, I guess, and Krang's like. You listen here, you bumbling idiots. You're gonna open this portal for me, and I'm gonna rule Earth. And Shredder's like, okay. It's like, what the fuck?
That's what you would say to an alien if you walked into
man, not him.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid. He's just like, okay. And then he's like, okay, there's no chance. You only think, like, he's not gonna double cross me. This is perfectly normal.
I mean...
I was like, this, okay,
You can get mad at that, but that's not even the worst thing about the movie.
No, it's not. But they're accelerating to get the middle of the movie is actually. That's the part I
enjoy. Look, man, this movie had the turtle van, and it was. I don't know the mechanics of actually shooting sewer plates. But it was pretty entertaining. I was like, right on. This is a young version of me was like, this is what I always wanted to see.
I'll say it right now, it's better than the first Michael Bay.
Yes, we've established that.
But
that's not saying much.
The thing is, the first one was so terrible.
That it's not a hard bar.
Turtle fans aren't
to reach.
I'm proud of Turtle. Turtle fans aren't stupid, so they didn't show up for the second movie because the first one was so.
You mean fans didn't show up in droves to see the newly casted Casey Jones by your one and only favorite Green Arrow, Stephen Amell?
So when I started watching Arrow, I loved Arrow. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then it got LCW, and I was just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Stephen Amell
was like, hey man, I'm going to try it on the big screen.
He may have been the worst cast in the movie. I don't know.
Because a hockey player, police cop, doesn't really.
So I got the best line.
He's just a cop walking around with a hockey stick.
But he can't sell it. So
Always.
The best line.
Everything was a slap shot.
But he's like, well, how old do you think he is in the movie? Casey Jones,
33?
33? Sure. So he talks like he's 9. Yeah. Someday I'm going to be a detective. He actually says that to his boss.
Michael Bay's School of Screenwriting.
Someday I'll be a detective.
Which is true. With that hockey stick in his mask.
Oh, God, yeah.
And then, obviously April O'Neil's back doing April O'Neil-ish things.
Megan Fox,
she's better in this one.
I was going to say, Megan Fox, she's not a good actor, but she was trying.
She was more of an investigative journalist in this movie. Yeah, and I think she got a yellow coat.
But there was a scene where she had to dress up in a tiny miniskirt and trying to do
that's Michael Bay.
That had to happen.
You saw her in Transformers. Yeah. She's not fixing cars at a halter top.
How dare we think that April O'Neil can't be a little slutty? It's
how dare we think Michael Bay can't be a little slutty? Is that what you said? I think
that's what you said. Is that what I said?
I thought you said Michael Bay.
Anyway, Michael Bay's April O'Neil can't. Of course she has to be a slutty. She has to have one slutty scene. She has to.
And Michael Bay's pretty slutty.
I bet he is.
Slut for cash.
Did we cover everything?
It's bad. We're done with it. It's better than the first one. So if you have to watch one of them, look for the second one.
Just skip the first one.
Because there's Rocksteady and Bebop on tiny motorcycles. Yeah, that was good. And then Stephen Amell rollerblading.
And it looks so
rollerblading away from them. Oh, that's so good.
I'm like, dude, you're Canadian. You don't know how to skate.
It's so cheesy. It's great. There's no way. There's no in physical world that he could outrun a mutated rhinoceros and warthog.
It looks so awkward
let alone on a motorcycle.
It looks so. It's like.
Wait, I may change my role. This may be my favorite. I gotta watch this one again.
You son of a bitch.
Okay,
I watched it recently, so it's not.
I know you did. We may differ on this one because I'm putting.
Are you putting the animated ones in here too? Because there's 2 animated ones.
I've only seen.
There's a TMNT, the CGI one, and there's Turtles Forever.
I'm not talking about Turtles. I've never seen Turtles Forever.
Okay, so Turtles Forever.
I'm removing it from this list.
Turtles Forever slots in around here, I think. I don't know. It's good. It's good. So what happens in Turtles Forever is the R version, the 80s version, jumps dimensions into the 2003 version home.
It's a TV movie.
Yeah, no, it's
a TV movie.
Whatever. It's basically all meet each other.
Oh yeah, okay. Wait, I know what you're talking about. I have seen this.
I don't want you so mad. The 80s version, the 2003 version, and then eventually the original Mirage versions all meet each other. And so basically, there's the Utrom Shredder from both Shredders are in it.
Yep, James Avery Shredder
and the 2003 Shredder. Well, the Utrom Shredder, right? The James Avery Shredder wakes him up as stasis to kind of ally himself with him to take on the turtles. So our turtles are just bumbling idiots.
To fight 12 turtles?
Yeah, well, it's 8 at this point, but our turtles are just bumbling idiots in this show.
Right, as they would be.
Yeah, so Michelangelo from the 2003 version loves them because they're all just him, right? And so the 2 Shredders kind of team up.
Okay.
With the 2003 Utrom Shredder taking over command basically and just doing his own thing, and he wants to destroy all the turtles from all the multiverse.
Right.
So he learns there's a multiverse and he wants to destroy all the iterations. So you get cool little Easter eggs and you get teases of the different types of.
So it's fan service.
Yeah, it's fan service for sure.
And it's good. It's basically stripped from a comic book.
You should watch it. You should. You'd like it. It's good. It's well done. It's not amazing or anything, but it's well done.
It's good for a TV movie, which is what it is. Yeah. So it doesn't count on this list, but it's a nice honorable mention. I will give you that. My next one is actually Secret of the Ooze.
Okay.
Because Secret Rose is good, but it's super cheesy, and I feel like as young Ninja Turtle enthusiasts, we remember this one way better than it was.
Because I've watched it. I've
watched it several times, and then I grew up, and then watched it several times. I was like, Vanilla Ice's rapping in this. Turtle rap doesn't hold up.
Toka and Raza are basically Bebop from Rocksteady.
Yeah, not bad, just not the same, not what you wanted.
So,
and then Kevin Nash is Super Shredder, which is hilarious.
I did not know that.
Big Daddy Cool.
All he does
Diesel,
is knock down.
WWF.
As a kid, I thought he was so menacing. All he does is knock down the pier.
He just hits spears and then fucks himself over.
And then he fucks himself over.
But it's Kevin Nash.
So
6'7", 6'8".
There is an asterisk to go with this movie, is that after the first one came out, there was apparently a lot of angry mothers that wrote in to the production company, I guess.
Right.
And were complaining that it was too dark, it was too violent. So if you pay attention to the second one,
right,
they actually never use their weapons.
No, there's a lot of spinning and kicking and flipping, because that's when you get Pizza Boy.
Yeah. Shit, what's his name? Yeah, Pizza Boy. It's not Pizza Boy.
You know your name.
Yeah, Pizza Boy.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, but so they actually had to tone him down, and they didn't use their weapons, and it's way more lighter than the first one.
It is. It's so cheesy.
Yeah.
That one should actually be a TV movie.
There are some funny parts though. Like a little too
it's
rap.
good,
a little too rap.
But it's not the first one,
no.
and it's not my number 2 pick either.
No.
So Secret of the Ooze has its moments. I want to say Eddie, but it's not Eddie. What's his name?
Oh, you're still thinking of the guy?
I gotta figure it out. I gotta give him some service. This is the one role he did. Actually,
he's got other roles.
Yeah, you know he played Donatello in the original. He was actually in the suit.
I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah. So I should learn his name, and I will learn his name, and his name was Kino.
Kino, that's
in the movie,
what it was, yeah.
Ernie Reyes Jr. So yeah, he actually got to play Donatello, and then they brought him out to give him a real role in the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's a cool little Easter egg. But it's not great. I mean, the Go Ninja rap is still hilarious.
Go Ninja, go, 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 go.
But it's literally, there's a scene with dancing Ninja Turtles in a dance club. So that doesn't even make sense, the whole scripting of that. So if you saw random mutant ninjas break into a club that you were at, as the performer, you would have the foresight to make a rap about them?
This is Rob Van Winkle. He knows what's going down.
Sure.
So he's like, I'm capitalizing.
As a patron of this club, I'm going to stand there and wait for them to start dancing, or I'm going to freak out and be like, what the fuck? It's the end of the world! So, like, you have to suspend reality hardcore. Moving on. My number 2 pick is the TMNT animated.
This is the CGI one. This is underrated.
Yes,
this one was really good. It's got a bit of missteps. It's got some weird stuff, like the villain choice.
Yeah, there's no Shredder in this one.
No.
It's another billionaire type dude who's trying to, I guess, open up. I always thought it was Gates of Hell, but it wasn't. It's like this dimension where you can get monsters and then use these monsters to do rich guy things. Fine, whatever.
Things, yeah.
That's the least of your worries, because everything that you do get right is so spot on.
Oh man, the characters are perfect.
Well, first of all, it opens with them all like spread out doing their own thing, which is amazing, right? Like typically you always see the turtles join at the hip, but at a certain point with 4 brothers, you would be like, "Yo, I need some space, right?" So I believe like Mikey has a job as a pizza delivery guy.
Yeah.
Raffy's doing. I mean, not Raffy. Donatello's doing calls. Like he's a call service, call line. What's the word? We work at a call center.
Yeah.
That's what it.
Telemarketer.
Kind of. Yeah. You call him. Yeah. He's a tech support. That's what it is. Raphael's taken up a vigilante as a profession, as the night watcher. So he's running around. Like he's got his own specific suit that's not a turtle. Like was it like a metal type of thing?
It was something
crazy, but it was cool. Like he's got his own name. He's doing his own thing. And then Leonardo's in South America, just training. Like completely left. He's like, "Fuck you guys! I'm leaving New York."
Yeah.
Like it's so cool.
It's a cool little twist, though. It's because, like you said, like this is how real brothers, they would want their own space. They do their own shit.
Sooner or later, especially teenagers, you're growing out of.
Yeah.
You need to get out of there.
Highlight of that movie, the fight between Raph and Leo was fucking awesome.
When they finally link up
on the rooftops, yeah.
The highlight of this movie is
because Raph is like, so I'm doing my own thing, like I'm not with you, and Leo's all, he's the characters.
We're family.
They
get all the archetypes completely correct. Not only that, the highlight for me was the voice acting. So not only do you have...
Yeah, there's some good names, right?
So the narrator is Lawrence Fishburne. That should get you wet enough. But you have Sarah Michelle Gellar as your April O'Neil. Mako as Splinter. Finally, another credible Casey Jones with Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, yeah.
The titular villain, Winters, is played by Patrick Stewart. So they knew what they had here, and they shelled out some money for it.
I gotta watch this. I can't believe it came out 11 or 12 years ago.
It's been a while, man. It was 2007, yeah. Kevin Michael Richardson does a lot of voices.
Like 12 years ago. Yeah.
He's a staple of animation. So like they paid their top penny for getting these A-listers, and it shows.
Who produced this? What?
Phil Lamar's in here too. Director Kevin Monroe.
That's just crazy though, because it was the first time seeing them CGI like this, like computer graphics and everything, and it was like
so good.
What the hell's going on? Yeah, but it was well written. It was all right. It was good, man. It's worth a watch.
Especially, well, this is the first movie that they tried, not counting the TV movie, coming off of a live action.
No, TV movies after this.
So coming off of a live action,
yeah.
Coming off of Turtles in Time.
How many years before? 7.
And that's not even the name of it.
14.
I just want to reference a video game that's
yeah
amazing, and you should find a way to play that.
And that was like
we're not going to talk about video games.
That was like a 14.
We're not going to talk about the video games. They're so good. They're so good.
The best one's Turtles in Time. Just know that. If you're going to get
that's one. Well, what was the one where they fight each other?
Oh, the fighting game?
Yeah.
There's a couple of those, but
that's a wormhole. That's a Dimension X.
There's so many games.
Let's just go to the best movie, which is the original.
1990. I watch this movie annually, so I watch this movie once a year.
That's why I still have it on VHS.
So do I. Yeah.
I have it on DVD. Yeah. I have it downloaded legally.
Not only is
maybe not.
Only is this the best Turtles movies out there, it's actually one of my all-time favorite movies ever.
Definitely one of the best movies of the 90s.
Yeah.
And a lot of good movies came out in the 90s.
Yeah.
You do your research.
It's one of my favorites. Like, it's top 5 favorite for me. I love everything about it.
It's good.
I love how dark it gets. I love the characterization.
Yeah, they give it... So, what you expect with Ninja Turtles is that there's always going to be fighting. This one gives them time to breathe. There's a whole, scene and a half where they just go off to a farm and recoup.
And just collect
and
that's like one of the best scenes.
It is, man. It really is, man.
Because you got the whole Donatello Casey dynamic where they're just chirping each other the whole time. You got Leo and Raph kind of coming together because Raph gets beat up.
Yeah, Raph gets bodied on the roof. There's a lot of these in the middle of the day scenes. Yeah. There's nobody else saw this shit coming on. I know. But it's still amazing. Like the stuff that
there's some things kind of like when Casey happens to see him on the rooftops. Like it's a big city. You're just gonna happen to see him on.
I mean, and then obviously Casey and
Cricket.
Yeah,
you gotta
Casey
know
and
what
Raffy
Cricket is.
Teeing off at each other in the middle of the park where they're just going at it. It's good.
It's so good. April O'Neil's a great casting.
It is.
She's tough, but she's does her thing.
Squint hard enough, and you'll see the first appearance of Sam
Rockwell. That was coming up.
Is one of the.
You call that over there?
He's not.
And this over here?
You call this a
family?
He's not a foot yet, but he's training with a foot. And then the playground that they gave the foot to I could see how kids would run away and join there.
Well, and that's
they had a skate park.
That's the other thing is that it's grounded in the sense that the Foot Clan is all
just runaways and forgottens, and
Shredder takes these kids in.
They're just doing petty crimes. It's just simple stealing, just kind of getting them wet. Yeah. He's very much what's the word where the fucking
grooming?
Yeah,
he's grooming.
Yeah. But he is.
No, but he's grooming them to be criminals.
In terms of pedos.
Yeah, Well, that's a little different. But no, he's grooming them to be criminals, and you got Tatsu in it.
Ninja Punish! There's amazing movie. It's so good, right? I will geek out to the infinity about this movie because it's so good.
The comedy, the humor in it is appropriate. It's not out of left field. Michelangelo's hilarious. Even during a fight, if you were a lumberjack, the only thing safe in the world would be the trees. Because he's missing every time.
Well, that is even one of the opening scenes where he's just waiting for a pizza, and he gives him the
pizza dude's got 30 seconds.
He gives the Confucius line.
Wise man say, "Forgiveness is divine, but never pay full price for late pizza." That's
amazing. That's your opening scene, man. Yeah, and then he skates off, and then you get the which is underrated, amazing soundtrack because it's still
It's like
80s
hip-hop-y,
inspired. Yeah. And he does it. He's on a skateboard and he jumps up and you get the freeze and then you get the old school iconic Ninja Turtle graphic lettering on your and like, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's so good. They explain the origin very clean, precisely, and quick.
Yep.
Just enough so when obviously April finds her way into the sewers, you have a natural, organic way to explain the story. It's a very quick, like, I have 4 sons. I named them all. And then when he introduces them, they're each in their like tableau of how they would be, right? So Raph is off, brooding in the corner. Michelangelo can't wait to say hi. He has a pizza in his hand.
Me.
Donnie looks sarcastic, and Leonardo's just like...
Stoic. Oh, it's so good.
It's so good.
You know, I tell you guys to come in and join me, but all I got to offer you is frozen pizza. Let's go for it. Well, you said the magic word.
So
Was it scene where at the farm and Casey Jones keeps calling different nicknames?
Oh, by the letters of the alphabet?
Sweetheart. No, I'm talking to Casey.
Oh, okay.
April.
You're talking to April?
Cupcake. Princess. You're a princess.
and the little details of like scenes like that where he's using Leonardo's katana to chop up vegetables for his soup.
Man.
And Donatello, it's Donatello and Mikey walk in and pull out some turtle wax to rub on themselves after training. Turtle wax. Like, so good.
Listen.
So fucking good.
If you listen to this right now,
so good.
You like the Turtles.
We're geeking like we've never geeked before.
And you've never seen this movie. You need to watch this movie.
And we run a geek podcast, and we're geeking.
We're
geeking.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's so good. It's so true to the comic book that Eastman and Laird started to the point that they were on set. They had a lot of influence. They were a lot of collaborative voices, especially with Jim Henson, who for the first time was doing puppets like these. This is the first time you're getting technology where
and it still
you're getting
holds
suits.
Up. You can watch it today, and it holds up.
And it looks good.
It looks great.
And then even Master Splinter, I made it funny.
Yeah. Go ninja.
Great. Go. Very simple, very clean. Not a lot of things going on. Not a lot of extra mutants. There weren't a lot of side characters. I know we wanted Rocksteady and Bebop, but I'm not upset that they weren't in it.
No, because it's better. It's
better that Shredder takes on all 4 of them on top of a rooftop and basically dummies them until they learn how to work together.
And then Casey Jones.
And then it takes.
Oops.
Yeah, the trash compact. Completely spoiled. If you haven't seen it, see it. If you've seen it, go watch it again. I think I'm gonna go home and watch this again because it's that good, man.
I have to now. No, I'm not kidding. I watch it every year, and I'm gonna watch it.
This year's almost over.
Yeah, I watched it once already.
But
I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm gonna watch it. You're my kid. So that's
the number 1.
That's number 1 of everything.
This is the number 1 movie, and I mean that's the dream. If you're these creators and you get to make this type of comic that's already out there and you never feel is truly going to be understood, but it is, and it happens to make some money, but you can translate it so easily to screen, and it satisfies your base so succinctly. Like everybody, I don't remember ever hearing anyone complaining about this first movie. Being a Ninja Turtle fan, even if you don't like Ninja Turtles, I think you'll still appreciate them. It's so good
because it's well written. It's the idea of it's ridiculous. Mutant Turtles in the sewers saving the city, but if you can,
comic books,
you can buy into it.
Comic books are stupid.
No, as a non-Turtle fan, but it still holds up to this day.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. So retrospect, I wish they stopped right after the first one.
Just stop.
We're never doing it again, or just went straight into animation.
Yeah.
Until like today, they're like, okay, we finally decided.
Do you think you'll ever get a great turtle movie again?
Of course.
Somewhere down the line.
We're talking about a property that started in the 80s and we're in the aughts. This is like 40 years, 30 years, 40 years.
Yeah. Fair enough.
It's gonna make 50 years and be as fresh as it was when it initially started, and have a whole new generation of people like
to see one.
Ninja Turtles.
I'd love to see one to rival that first one. I'd love it.
It will happen. Because I can say this because we're getting a Bumblebee movie that
looks proper.
That looks as close to the Transformers that we grew up with, as opposed to. So apparently, you just have to go through a Michael Bay stage of ejaculation before you get to the good stuff, right? You know, sometimes you just gotta masturbate the bad shit out, and then you get the real good one to pump through.
We spend all this time talking about all these turtle movies and shows and comics. At the end of the day, nobody cares.
Well, time out. We both definitely care about goddamn Ninja Turtles. That's the one time I won't let that one fly. Good lord. Cowabunga.
Oh, turtle power.
Turtle power.
In this segment, we rank the 9 worst things for any given topic of the day.
This is
Power Rankings.
Power Rankings.
And today we're talking about the top A-list or award-winning actors who will never be cast in a superhero movie.
Did we update it? Because I'm pretty sure I saw...
Don't think we did.
All right, let's go.
Here's our list.
Which direction are we going?
This is 1, right? That's 9.
Wouldn't it be the other way around based on what we do?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, it's number 1.
Right.
Gerard Butler.
So you took what I said and flipped it because I thought we were gonna say I thought we were gonna say Butler because we love shouting out Butler.
Yeah, he's number 1.
Right. So we start with number 9.
We always start at number 1.
Right. So that's why I asked if we're gonna flip it so we can leave Butler last.
Can we start?
No. This is what's in now.
All right, we're in.
Butler, and I don't even believe that Butler's never gonna be in a superhero movie.
Neither do I. That's why he's supposed to be 9. But you're like, let's flip it.
I asked. I didn't say let's. I said ask. Like, what are we doing here? This is why we have meetings before we turn the mic on. But clearly, so I don't even believe that. Like, I have Gerard Butler cast in a few of our other podcasts. And
he's cast in every movie we ever do.
I think he will inevitably join some sort of superhero movie, preferably as a villain.
Okay, so let's go to number 1 then.
No, that doesn't make sense. We'll do a write-in. We just want to give a shout out to Gerard Butler. Name me any other actor that you don't think is gonna. I was gonna say Anthony Hopkins. Legit, not realizing that he's fucking Odin.
Yeah, he's Odin.
God damn. Not realizing who's dead.
Are we going this way?
It doesn't matter now.
No, it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, so we'll go this way, but we have to rename for Gerard Butler because I think he'll inevitably make it in.
So he's number 9.
But I think he'll make it in.
Yeah.
So
I'm saying number 9. These are the least likely ones.
Right. But if we think he's going to make it in, he's no longer on this list.
Oh, okay.
So we need a write-in for the Gerard Butler shout-out.
All right.
Why is this rocket science for you?
I wasn't listening to half of that.
Well,
I just finally started listening and got it all.
That doesn't help anything that we're doing right now.
Number 1.
No! What are you doing? What are you doing? Just go.
No, you take it.
Just go.
You take it.
At this point.
Go.
At this point, but
I'm done.
Do you know what's happening?
No.
Do you know what's happening? Okay, well, fucking, what's his name? What's the Canadian guy who was in The Notebook and it's like, I wrote you every day?
Oh, Gosling.
I don't think Ryan Gosling's ever going to be in a superhero movie.
Ever?
Bang.
There you go. That's number 1.
It's him or DiCaprio, and I think DiCaprio's
not going to do it. Oh, you see how this thing?
He's not.
Wow, I'm surprised he's not on this.
So we have 2 write-ins. This is keep Power 11s.
This is keep 85.
Right. These are the 85 celebrities that would do
Power Rankings version 85.
Beta test 6.
I just want to list them off now. This is no fun anymore.
It kind of is. Did we have reasons?
No.
Why is this a thing?
This was your idea.
Was it?
Yeah. Okay.
I think inevitably Tom Cruise is gonna make it into 1 too.
Okay, so we replace him. Okay, number 2.
Is it?
What was number? Butler was number.
Viola Davis.
She's already in Suicide Squad.
Oh fuck, she is. Damn.
Rose McGowan. Okay, Rose McGowan's not gonna be in it.
Would you count Grindhouse as a comic book movie though?
Oh, this is a super.
I don't know what it is, but
what is going on right now?
I don't know what that was, but I wanted it everything that we ever do now. How? I can't even do it justice. Oh God, it was so good.
This is a superhero movie. Ow.
How? Does Little Coke do that? Is that where you pulled it from?
That was me mid-sentence, like trying to process what was going on.
Well, if you ever wanted to hear a clusterfuck,
this is it.
This is it. 666.
I'm just gonna go with Rose McGowan.
Why?
We had.
Right.
She's not gonna be in it. A superhero, not a comic movie, or a superhero movie.
Okay.
Mel Gibson's not gonna do it.
He would direct it though.
Maybe, but he's not gonna be in one.
The father of somebody.
Fucking Jodie Foster hates them.
Didn't we say Mel Gibson would be a good Old Man Logan?
When did we say that?
We didn't say that?
I don't think so.
You don't think he'd be a good Old Man Logan?
I think Gerard Butler would be a good one.
Well, he's off the list now.
Well, Jodie Foster's definitely not gonna be on it. She fucking hates him.
Yeah.
She's gone. She's number one, really.
She hates everything.
We got Sean Penn. What are we at? What number is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Do you really care about organization?
I don't care anymore. Sean Penn's not gonna do it.
You're just listing actors that you don't like anymore. Hilary Swank.
Hilary Swank's not gonna do it.
You know who she'd be good as though?
Who's that?
She-Hulk.
Yeah, she probably would. You're right, Jennifer. Yeah, you're right.
Should we just cast these guys as superheroes that they should play, even though they're never gonna play superheroes?
We're gonna change it up right now.
Might as well. So name the other 3 that are left on the list.
Daniel Day-Lewis, Meryl Streep, and Tom Cruise.
Now let's cast them in things that we want them to be in because they're never gonna do it. Gerard Butler as
Craven.
Correct.
That's my guy.
Rose McGowan, Spider-Woman, Jessica Drew. Is that the right Jessica?
Yeah, Jessica Drew's fine with me. Yeah.
Nice.
Mel Gibson as
Old Man Logan. Or Old Man something.
Jodie Foster
or
as
Old Man Cable.
Oh, there we go. Jodie Foster as Madam Web.
Sitting in a chair, just telling people what to do. Sean Penn.
Fucking Sean Penn.
Old Man Sabretooth?
Why is everybody old man for you?
Have you seen Sean Penn? He looks like a fucking baseball mitt, man. He's old. He's fucking old. We have all old A-list celebs on here, and you're asking me why they're all old things. I'm gonna cast him as fucking young Spider-Man.
Old man Sabretooth.
He'd be fucking Uncle Ben's bones at this age.
Okay, and then Hilary Swank. Hilary Swank is
She-Hulk. She's going down as one of our best rants too.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Good, make it good.
Mr. Sinister.
Mr. Sinister.
Yeah, Mr.
That
Sinister.
Or what's dude Killshot? Fucking what's that guy?
Dead. What? No, it's DC. Who?
The guy with the from Image.
Oh, Image.
And Vin Diesel's doing him?
Oh, Bloodshot. Nah, he's not.
He would take it so seriously. He would go and kill. He would go on a murdering spree.
He would.
But let's run a few for Daniel Day-Lewis. Although I do think Mr. Sinister is perfect for him.
Yeah, he'd be fucking great.
But what else would we cast this fucking? Because he's so. If you don't know about Daniel Day-Lewis, he's so method acting that he literally goes away for a year to prepare for every role that he's done. So the internet likes to joke that they should cast him as Jesus so he can come back and walk on water. Because he's so fucking method. He'd be a good. What's the pterodactyl? Sauron. He would learn to fly.
Would you want him as Hugo Strange?
That's not enough for him. He needs
more
to do.
You need a little bit of something. Like Kirk Langstrom would be good. Man, but.
Sure. Or he would do an insane fucking Harvey Dent. For being real.
Oh, he'd be a good Harvey Dent.
He'd be the best Batman. By definition, he would train.
Go away for a year.
He would solve crime.
Yeah.
He would be. he would be the world's greatest detective. Oh, I think Meryl Streep would have been a bit of Madam Web at this point. Now.
Yeah, I was just looking at that.
Yeah. You want to flip?
No.
So who's Meryl Streep?
Yeah, Meryl Streep's gonna be.
Old Man.
No.
Wonder Woman.
Granny Goodness.
From
DC, the Apocalypse.
Oh, the evil chick from. Yeah. Good lord, that's dark.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, what's his name? Darkseid's like.
Right hand lady. Yeah, she's freaky.
And Tom Cruise.
Joker.
Did you like that laugh?
He's so little.
That'd be funny.
Or like the Riddler.
There we go. So we just flipped up Power Wreckings on the fly.
You laugh now, but this is probably gonna go down as our best segment that we've done in.
Ideally.
Tonight.
Or our worst.
Either or.
Best or worst. Power Wrecking.
I don't know if it deserves that after this monstrosity.
666.
Huh?
666.
Why'd you fade out there? What time is it?
6:66.
That's my line, but that's okay.
It's not your line.
I say 6:66.
It's 8:40.
Is it? Damn.
Actually.
I've got to take my insulin.
AM or PM? I don't know. Fuck you.
Still have to take my insulin.
You diabetic?
I'm something. I need to take a needle for something.
Hey, you like movies?
Yeah. No, I like movies. In answer to your question,
I'm leaving that entire part in.
I like movies. In answer to your question,
today we're in Keep 6. We're talking about MacGruber.
Oh man, great movie.
Great. But I was gonna do a whole thing like, what's your favorite Saturday Night Live? But no, just fuck it.
No,
It's
great. If you haven't seen it, you know it's the best. It's probably top 3 SNL movies.
Easy.
If you haven't seen it, ignore everything that you've seen, except for Tommy Boy, and go watch this.
Yeah, I slept on it for a while. I didn't see it for a few years because it came out 2010. Yeah, 2010, I believe. Yeah. I didn't see it until about 2 years ago.
And you're not gonna see it till now if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. This is a decade now, guys. You recommended to me, another friend recommended it to me, and
you got the recommend from me? You hadn't seen it before I told you, or you?
I thought it was. I think you were second up.
Really?
I couldn't remember. I think it was you. It was somebody. I know it was Brody, and it was somebody. But anyways, fucking great.
Yeah. Okay. So this is why it's an SNL movie, because it stars the hilarious and underrated Will Forte, SNL member, and also Kristen Wiig, who both deserve their weight in gold in this movie and their time in SNL, because they do amazing jobs. Some of the other casting in this is the jack of all trades, Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer, yeah.
Because he's appeared in movies since the 80s and all been weird, different, and still enjoyable.
Yep.
Ryan Phillippe, which you're not expecting, but he...
No, that was just a random thing. I was like,
but he plays his role perfectly, because that's all he could do in this. Yeah. Powers Booth, which is a nice throwback. Mayor Rudolph is in this as well. And
my girl.
A lot of fun cameos that will pop up. I don't want to give away too much of it. There's the other one. There you go. And that's their names.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah,
that's right. Great in itself. But I don't know. I don't know if I spoil that.
No. So it's a spin on. MacGyver.
Which is okay. This is from SNL, a direct skit that they just lengthened out. So if you remember from SNL, the MacGruber skit was MacGruber, Kristen Wiig, and whoever the host was always trapped in a room, and Kristen Wiig was always telling. I should be saying her character name, shouldn't I? Yeah. Always screaming to MacGruber the things that he needed to do in order
to never do it.
to stop the bomb, right? There was always a bomb, and he'd always go off on a tangent. Vicky is her name.
Vicky, yeah.
But he would never get to cut the right wire in time, and the skit would end with everything exploding. Hilarious in itself. Forte had the foresight to be like, we can make this a movie.
Which I was surprised about I remember when I first dropped it like that, because I didn't really, the skits were funny to me, but they weren't great. So I was like, oh, they make a movie of this? I don't know. The movie's better than the skits.
Of course.
It's fucking great.
Because it's just like Will Forte found a way to put all of his individual quirk humor into every
scene built into this movie. There's not a scene where it's not funny. Will Forte wrote it, John Solomon, and Jorma Tacoma.
1/3 of the Lonely Island Boys,
which is we just figured that out today, which is huge. That whole lineage of Lonely Boys have been doing a lot of good stuff, SNL related, and
anything they touch ends up being funny.
Yeah, which is good when you want a comedy movie. So the whole premise of this movie is essentially MacGruber is getting called back into action after his wife. How much are we giving away about this movie?
Not much. You don't really need much. Just
he's forced to go back onto the job and reassemble the team to go take down his arch nemesis.
Yeah, Kunz.
Whose name is Val Kilmer's name is in this?
It's
Kunz. That alone has its own set of jokes that are hilarious.
Let's go kick some Kunz.
He says that a few times.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of callbacks to things that happened in a movie too. I can't give this movie as much justice because, before we even turned on the mic, we were just laughing at all the jokes that we could remember off the top of our head.
And if we said it now, it wouldn't make sense. But
it would just spoil it for you. So, either you've seen it, and we'll just re-jog your memory, or you haven't seen it and we won't do it justice. So go watch this movie. This is a great movie. that you want to
Watch.
I was waiting for that MacGruber line, but I couldn't. I want to say so many jokes are popping in my head, but I can't.
Nice try.
Well, that and license plate. That was
I like.
That was a huge callback.
Vagina face. Anyways, keep 6 on MacGruber. Watch it if you can.
666. Because we like movies, apparently.
Love them.
Can I take my insulin now?
No. This segment is called Heroes from a Hat, where we pick 2 random heroes from this hat and pit them against each other in a fight.
This hat?
This hat.
No looking.
Right now.
No looking. All right, I'm looking now.
Now
I am the man with a plan. Superman. Nova.
And I'm Thing.
Okay,
I've got Thing.
So you lost.
Ben Grimm.
You lost. So I'm Ryder.
Richard Ryder.
Dick Ryder.
All right.
Has that not been an insult? That's the one thing that you could call me, and I think you would win in an insult competition. Because I can't really turn Ben Grimm into anything worse than you.
No, but so I'm fucking like lure you under a bridge.
You're living under a bridge?
No, I'm gonna lure you under there.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump on you.
I'd fly.
You're gonna fly under. I'm gonna jump on you.
I could shatter
with
rocks,
all that
right?
fucking weight. I just pow. Just a pow elbow. I give you the people's elbow.
I don't have comic proof of this, but I'm pretty sure in my vast reaches of the universe, I've eaten like rocks for breakfast. Like I'm that cool and strong.
And I'm made of rocks.
Yeah, and I'm gonna eat you for breakfast.
And I'm gonna give you indigestion.
Yeah. All you got on me is calling me Dick Rider, which is really good. I really hope
it's clobbering time.
And saying clobbering time.
I do like his name, Richard Rider. Dick Rider.
Nobody's called him ever Dick Rider?
No, I don't.
Stat Boy, look that up, please, man. My new favorite hero is Dick Rider.
That's not.
The dude's name is Dick Rider. Someone in the fucking office is like, Richard Rider. And someone's like, you want to name him Dick? It's like, yeah, man. I'll call him Richard.
Dick Rider.
Nobody will know. Dick Rider moving through.
Okay, so I'm just going to clap you one time. Knock your helmet off.
You still think you're winning?
I got to rep.
Unless this is a Yo Mama, like Dirty Dozens, you lost.
All right.
Your mama named you Dick Rider.
Yeah. Nova.
Winner.
Nova advances.
Dick Rider. That's amazing.